I am hosting today. Judd is away. He's with family. He's actually, I think he's prepping for a few things in Anguilla right now. So I will be hosting today, and hopefully you'll get some golden nuggets along the way here to help your businesses grow. If anything, is there's anything that pops up for you, I will be able to do as much as I possibly can to answer questions. But first of all, let's start with some wins. Who's got a win for this week in the last 7 days here? They can be personal, they can be business, they can be life stuff, it can be anything. So if you had a baby or if you had you had a win in business, let's go. Anybody got one? Gabe's joining too. If not, I'll kick it off. I have a win. So what my wins are typically connecting with people. So I do a lot of calls on a regular basis, and I'm always trying to connect with you guys, first of all, and obviously a lot of other people that are interested in starting their own businesses, or even DIYers that are trying to do their property maintenance themselves. So my win was I'd been chatting with a guy for probably about a good month and a half or so. And in this last week, we finally got the solution put in place. And I feel like as long as I'm there for the questions, answering questions, providing solutions, and when somebody finally gets to move forward and take the next step and stuff, it's a win in my book for sure. And then I love watching everybody win on here, obviously, but also I can see their numbers when I make calls to them and we talk about what they're doing for their business. So hopefully that helps a little bit on this end. Anybody else have a win? Gabe, welcome, brother. Nice to see you. Hank's on, perfect. I see Chris as well. It's a little dark, but we can see you're on. Fantastic. Anybody else have a win to share from this last week? Gabe, let's go.
Yeah, man, I got two pothole repairs to do Friday.
Fantastic.
Yep. So
how'd you find them?
go. I just went out, just went looking, and just actually one of them's at a hotel, and just went in and talked to the people, and the parking lot looked excellent. I mean, somebody had just done it, seal coated, striped it, but there was one little spot right in the center of the driveway as you go in that was just like it was just holding water and started crumbling. It was a little pothole. So I just went in and talked to them, and sure enough, they wanted to fix it. So that's one. The other one's at a car dealership, and I just happened to go by there one day too as well. But anyway, I got to go rent a trailer, so I have all that lined up. Go rent the trailer Friday, the saw, the compactor, and talk to the asphalt company plant today. So everything's lined up, man. So
fantastic.
Going to do it.
Fantastic. It's interesting. Once you go and I was talking to a guy today, and I said, you just can't unsee some of this stuff. You watch a few videos, and then you're like, keep seeing it everywhere now. It's like when you buy a new vehicle, suddenly your vehicle pops up everywhere. You're like, man, I didn't know there's that many of these around here. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Thanks, Kay, for sharing. Jamel, did you say something that you wanted to share as well, brother? Or was that just background noise?
No, that was background.
Appreciate it. Awesome. All right. Anybody else have something to share from the last the last 7 days here? Any wins? Any personal, business, or family wins? If not, I have a few things I wanted to talk about today. First of all, anybody here on the screen doing the Pothole Army with Judd? Awesome. Dell, Jimmy, Gabe, and Hank. Perfect. So I wanted to know what you guys took away. We'll talk about it individually, but Chris as well. Fantastic. He's in his truck. Just wanted to know what you guys got on your first day, sort of like top one or two things you guys picked up from that call. Who wants to go first on that? Perfect. Jimmy, appreciate you. Hopefully that helps a little bit. There we go.
There we go. Figure it out. Yeah, just that going into this with the Paul Army, it's going to require a lot of dedication from us to go in there and absorb the information, take everything that's given to us, and put it to work. So I'm excited. I like a challenge. So
What was the most let's say the biggest action item that you took away from that first meeting?
just where you have to have your mindset, which doesn't only apply for that, but pretty much anything that we're doing like business related. You have to have the right mindset, um, and then doing things to work on your mindset will benefit you in all aspects of life.
I love it. I appreciate that. Thanks, Jimmy. I was talking to somebody today actually, he's going back home to the Caribbean, and one of the things we talked about was I got to start thinking like a business owner, and that's something that changes for some people. If you're not haven't been a business owner before, there's a different. You said mindset. I love the word. Putting yourself in a space where you're like, okay, I'm responsible for X. Oops, my camera's going nuts. I apologize. Um, but it's really about putting yourself into a place where you are thinking about the business in a way where, is this best for my business, my family, whatever, but how am I thinking about my business? What am I doing to benefit the business? And I couldn't say specifically what those things are, obviously with the time we have, but there's a lot of things that you need to put yourself in a space for. And I know I mentioned a few books. Judd's always talking about books to read, putting yourself in a space where that becomes your focus. It's really what you're looking at. So seeing things outside of the normal average box that we typically put ourselves in a regular day. Awesome. Hank, please share, go for it. Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would have to say structure. So I did receive some coaching back in the summer, and I got a lot of good information. I got a lot of good instruction, and I kind of just picked and choose different things that I wanted to jump off into, and I did um, achieve some success with that method. But with the pothole army, is so clear cut. You can see your numbers. Okay, what's your goal? All right, this is what you have to do to achieve that goal. And then we have daily assignments that we have to do. So that structure, I'm really excited about that. I know that if I follow the process, I'm going to receive the results. So super excited.
FTDP. I'm sure you said that was
FTDP.
a follow the day
Yeah.
process. Yeah, I love it. We talk about that on our morning meetings here as well. So we also have a process we need to be following. So I agree with you 100%. Good job, man. Thank you. Gabe, let's go, brother.
Yeah, man. I mean, I have to agree with both of what they said. Absolutely. Judd and Dylan both, they do such a great job, basically explaining everything, from point A to point Z. But the biggest thing that I got was the daily nines. And that's where you wake up in the morning. Yeah, man. And there's three things that you're grateful for,
I love it.
three things that would make today a great day. And then three affirmations. Yeah. And I'm telling you, just starting your day off, with the vibration level high, it really helps, just to get through the day. That was a big thing that I picked up. I mean, it's all great, but that's something that I've already started it, but it's been 2 days, but I'm gonna continue to do that. So I even have my wife doing it. So that was great.
It's funny. You can start a morning off by stubbing your toe, and the rest of the day kind of goes downhill from there. Or you can start it off with a thankful heart, understanding what you could potentially do to improve that day. And then obviously things about yourself that we typically have a negative mentality about, whether you feel this or that about yourself in a negative light, switching it into something saying, hey, I can. This is an I can day versus I can't day. That makes sense. So good job. Awesome. Appreciate you sharing. Thanks, Dave. All right. Dell, let's go, brother.
I'd agree with both of them on the daily nines and the importance of it. And and just starting your day off with on the right foot. But also I'm going through the whole setting up the AK dash and getting that all set up, and um, there's a lot to it, and just getting familiar with everything and building good, because I know I need to build a good solid base to build my business that I'm starting on versus just, you know, going out and winging it and going, hey, I hope it, I hope there's a plan on this, you know. So I really am very thankful for uh, the structure that they're laying out in this.
It's interesting. There's a common theme through all of this, and I've heard it pretty much from all four of you that spoke. And when I was younger, I played on some sports teams and men's basketball, volleyball, stuff like that. And one of the things I recall from that type of coaching versus the coaching I got when I was doing financial coaching and I was doing, like, not myself, I was getting coached, was if you're starting a business and you're alone, it's tough to figure out where the pinpoints are that I need to sort of attack, you know, as a very structured, you said structured, so did Jimmy. It's where does the structure start? You got to have a good foundation to put yourself in a space where success comes from it. So putting together a plan where, first of all, we're setting our minds up for the success. We're also you're being coached, so you're going to be held accountable to specific things. That makes sense? So if I'm held accountable to some specific task, I know I can complete a task easy. Somebody can, it's like monkey see, monkey do. I'm a doer when I can see something done. Or if somebody explains it to me, I can definitely repeat. So if I can complete my task, put the list together, okay, boom, this is what I need to do, boom, attack, attack, attack. I know that I have a specific amount of time where I can dedicate it, my time to the specific requirements. And FTDP is such a key part of that, because we do that here with Asphalt Kingdom as well. We set up that plan saying, okay, what do you need to be doing? Let's work that backwards. What is it that I need to do it step by step to, you know, have success at the end of it, or even during it, right? Small steps. Love it. Thanks for sharing, everyone. That's awesome. Anybody else join that pothole hunting army that wanted to share, or is that did we cover that pretty much?
I'll go. It's Chris.
Chris, hey.
You know, it's everybody's hit on about the same subject. About it's a mental game. Everything in life pretty much is a mental game. You have to have your mind right. You have to set goals for yourself. You have to get a positive attitude. You know, you start out the day the same way every day. It's structure. It's building a routine. I'm a former Marine, and it's the same way going through boot camp in the Marine Corps. Just like this little Army pothole boot camp we got. It was a lot of mental stuff. Physical stuff was hard too, but the mental stuff was a whole lot tougher than the physical. And just learning to do all that, and then being held responsible for your own stuff. I'm really excited about it. Very, very excited about this class, and I like the way it's structured, and it's going to be good.
Awesome, brother. You be safe driving there now. We appreciate your feedback though, and love that you're sharing on here too. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, the structure helps a lot for me. I'm not a structured person by nature. I'm a very expressive. I love talking. I can go on for hours with people, but when it comes to structure, it's very key in a business. And obviously, getting better at it myself on a regular basis, as well as I'm sure yourselves as well. Having somebody that's going to guide you through that process is awesome. So I appreciate you guys sharing. Thank you. My next part of this would be who on this screen is new to the industry? Who's new to this? Essentially, let's say it's a year or less. Okay. Who on the screen? So Gabe, we all new on this screen? Okay, perfect. So we're all new, which means what comes up is the biggest question in your mind as far as things when on your daily task, whatever you're doing, what is the biggest question in your mind, or the biggest, let's look at it this way. I'll step back for a second. As you enter this business, there's so many questions. We're just bombarded with like, oh, how do I do this? How do I do that? What is this? You know, how do I get across to customers, sales? What do I do in marketing? There's a lot of questions. But what's the top question that you guys have entering the business or even talking to customers that bounces up in your head first? Jamel.
Putting together an estimate. You know, you have these different things, Simply Wise. You might have a dashboard through the kingdom, but every market is different. You don't want to overcharge and lose the customer, but you don't want to underbid and kill yourself. So the estimate is the biggest thing. What I noticed that in all these Facebook groups that I may be in, but whenever I ask another maintenance guy, asphalt maintenance guy, his recommendation, it's like that's the best kept secret in this industry. They don't speak about money.
Understood. And so it's a loaded question. That's partly why you get that kind of a glazed over look when somebody asks you that. Let's just look at this way. I'll put a couple examples out there and it might make more sense. Matt Phillips, you're on too. Appreciate you, brother. One of the things that I typically ask is this. Let's say you, Jamel, if you own a big company, let's say you have 3 or 4 crews that work for your company, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just starting out. Are our quotes can be the same, even if we use the same kind of numbers?
No.
Perfect. You and I are going to have different perspectives on stuff. We might even have different markets. We might even have different costs for our supplies. Our labor might cost a different type thing. I might not have as much in overhead because I don't have as many tools or equipment to pay for. So the reason why you get the glazed over look is not because somebody doesn't want to tell you. It's just because they don't understand your circumstances. So let's put it really easily this way. Skylar Garman's on here. I don't know if you're available, Skylar, but when I talked to Skylar, when I brought Skylar on before, I know he explained an amazing way, and I know he's one of the best guys at this. Hey, brother. Is typically I have guys ask the question, oh, how much per square foot? How much per linear foot? How much per this? How much per that? And it's not the right question. And that's partly why you're getting a bit of the, mum's the word. Skylar, could you elaborate a little bit about potentially a better way of tacking pricing?
Yeah, so I would say you got to figure out what your hard costs are, which are the easy ones to figure out. How much material are you going to use, and how long is it going to take you to do it? That is the easiest cost to figure out. So go on the, Asphalt Kingdom's website. They have material calculators. You type in the square footage. It'll tell you how many gallons of sealer. It'll tell you how many gallons of paint, and then say, okay, I can seal 10,000 square feet in a day. So now you're going to say 8 hours of my time. What's your time worth? Maybe you're going to pay yourself $30 an hour, $50 an hour. And that's going to be, and you might have 2 or 3 helpers that you pay as well. So those are going to be your hard costs. And then your variable costs are going to be all those unspoken things that Matthias are speaking about, right? Where that's where those things get very, very significant in the difference of did you buy a brand new 700 unit where you're paying, X amount of dollars a month on it? Do you have a new truck? Do you have a shop payment? Do you have all those things where, again, to Matthias's point, where things are significantly different from a large company with 3, 4, 5 crews versus, a single man crew. For us, prospectively, we have like 100K a month of those variable costs. So my overhead is significantly more. So I have to charge significantly more to make sure I'm covering those overhead costs to sustain my business.
So let me ask you this question. So you telling me that if I got me a crew of 2 or 3 people, and you have a crew that you work with that's 7, that same 20,000 square foot parking lot is going to be the difference because I got a lower amount of crew than you may?
Correct.
That's interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, it's just basic math. If you pay everybody $100 a day, that's $300. And if I pay everybody $100 a day, it's $700.
No,
It's got to come from somewhere.
I get you on that right there, but the job is the job.
But I think you're looking at it too black and white. I think what most people don't understand is I could come into any market and sell above market because I'm a good salesman and I have a great brand, right? Like that's the difference. Everybody's worried about market pricing and they just don't know how to sell and speak the language. Like sell with value. You have you pay for two things. You have the price and you have value, right? The price becomes irrelevant in absence of value. Like absent of value, people focus on price. So if you're not delivering value on the front end, you're not going to be able to sell at a premium price point. Everybody's worried about the competition. And to be honest with you, like I have no idea what my competition is charging. Zero, unless they're performance partners. Because I could care less.
Yeah, I feel
You're
the same.
setting yourself up.
I
in a
just need to know
space-
what my numbers are to run my business.
You're setting yourself up in a space. If you talk about a cost marked up idea versus what price per square foot type of idea, you're going to set yourself up for 25 to 35% closing rate, or better if you're really good at selling. It's like you were saying, if you had both those companies competing for a 25,000 square foot parking lot, it's almost irrelevant what you're charging. The point being is you need to make sure that the job you're quoting is, number one, profitable to you and your business, and obviously the fact that you're going to put out a valuable product in the end of it for your customer. So one way of testing your market. So I always have the question come up, oh, I don't know what my price in my market is. Skylar just said, half the time he doesn't even know. Most of the time doesn't know what his competitors are marking theirs up to. However, he's looking at it from value. It's like saying, I'm going to sell you a fork. But a fork could be plastic, it could be stainless steel, it could be a gold fork. The value is in really what it comes down to that you're offering as a service. So when we're talking about trying to figure out where your business should set up in your area, send out 50 quotes, send out 100 quotes. If you get 25 to 45% of those closed, ding, 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 you're in the sweet spot. If you don't close any, probably too high. If you close all of them, the table, you're just not taking enough from the table.
Right.
So it comes down to your activities. So if you want, I don't know, you and I are speaking pretty much, right? We've talked before, correct? I recognize the spelling of your name.
Yes.
So when we talk down the road, let's get into a little bit more of the stuff that, how to do that. Because I know we can deal with, AK Dash is great at that. They has calculators for everything. We can put in insurance. We can put in, if you're depreciating assets like trailers or trucks or whatever. But we can figure out exactly where your costs come in and then make sure that even if you're coming to a small project, you have a minimum charge no matter what it is. And then we work on what does it cost per day, what's it cost per week, per month, and break down what your cost would be on almost any given project, whatever service you're providing.
Okay.
That makes sense.
No, it makes sense.
And I would say, someone did make the comment about 60% gross margin. Like it is easier in the beginning to say, what is my hard cost, right? What's my material? What's my labor? Plus 60 to 80% at a minimum. Sometimes you're going to realize like you can sell projects at maybe 80, 90%. But like at a minimum, if it's $100, you got to sell that project for 160.
Gotcha. Info.
Does that answer your question, my friend? At least most of it?
It does. It does. It does.
That's probably why some people don't even know how to explain this, because first of all, they may or may not be doing it correctly and may or may not even understand how your market or your supplies or your team looks. So it's really hard to answer that question. I've had it before, so you're not the first for sure.
Got you.
Beauty. Okay. Anyone else? I'd ask the question, what is your number one question when it comes to moving forward or things that pop up for you? What's the number one question in your new business? Matthew, have you been in the business for a while? Is this something new for you as well?
I'm actually brand new.
Brand new too?
Yeah. Part of the pothole.
Perfect.
Pothole Army.
Perfect. Sweet. Yeah, we just went through some of the stuff on the first day there. So hopefully you got some good value out of that first meeting as well.
Okay.
Beauty. All right. What are some of the questions you guys have that pop up in your head first that kind of either stump you or are the sort of maybe the most difficult? Nobody's got any questions? Wow. Go for it, Matthew.
Yeah. So I live in the Panhandle of Florida. I live in Milton, Florida. I'm probably about hold on, real quick. Probably about like not even 20 miles away from Alabama. I fall into the problem of contractor license issues. And of course, you guys know about that in Florida. My only question and the thing that I'm kind of stumped on is, considering I don't have the 4 years experience to fall into getting that qualifying for that contractor's license, would I be able to just drive that 20 miles, be able to work in Alabama that is a little bit more lenient on handyman work? I think you can work up to about $50,000 or $100,000 before you need a contractor's license. Is that something you guys may know about or anything like that?
It's almost like we can run it on.
So one of the things that I would start with, because I don't know the answer to that 100%, but let's hypothetically say you've done your due diligence, you've gone on Grok or you've gone on ChatGPT, you've done the research on exactly what it required in the state of Alabama. Why not? Why not? That'd be a great opportunity. Get some experience in the state of Alabama. Boom. Once you get your 4 years, ding, ding, back down to Florida, you go and get your license set up the way you need to. Does that make sense?
The big thing in those states too, Matthias, like California, Florida, is typically you pay or you rent to be on someone else's license to operate for a few years. So you would go to a licensed contractor and be like, hey, look, I'm looking to start this business. I'm going to break you off 15% of all revenue for the next 4 years for me to be on your license. And typically, that is a very largely widespread thing. And I think you can have up to 4 people on a license.
Yeah.
So that is very common as well. It's another avenue to take.
Yeah.
I had a lady in Nevada. Yeah, Nevada. She was doing the same thing, and she found somebody that has the license that didn't have the 4 spots filled up on their license, piggybacked off their license, gave a cut of the commissions or the sales for the business, and in the business she goes. So there's that. And I also knew another guy out in California that was tied into Alex Coring, and now different contractors, different rules that they would come up with potentially. I know that the one out in Alex Coring out in California was looking for it as I want to have 2, 3, or 4 of these licenses attached to mine that are doing big numbers, because he's not looking at it just to make $5 a month. He's looking at it saying, hey, I want to have somebody that's active on my license. So if you're looking at it from a serious perspective, make sure that you do a good business plan so that when you go to that contractor, they know what you're looking to do and looking to earn, so that they're attracted to it, saying, yeah, you got to sell everything in life. So sales is one of the best things you could do, is just get a good sales mentality and start pitching what you're going to do and move on your activities. Hopefully that helps a bit. Beauty. Awesome. Hank, go for it, my friend. I can't hear you yet. There we go. Boom.
Okay.
You're good.
Thank you. We're talking about questions concerning building a business. So I have a lot of questions. But I think it can be boiled down to priorities. What should I do first? Okay, what is important versus urgent? What's important and urgent? What's urgent but it's not important, like busy work. So I can compare it to like racing thoughts about the business. So like I'm bombarded with questions about what should I be doing right now? What should I be scaling up? Should I be adding new services? So I think it could be boiled down to priorities. What's my priority?
So you're in the pothole hunting army, right?
Yes.
So I would say that you made a good choice there, because you're getting something where you have fundamentals broken down step by step on activities you need to complete. I would focus on all of that. I would get that fire that's under your butt roaring with just getting that stuff done. Why? Because Skylar said it before, get in there and figure out what you want to start with and just go for it hard. You're going to find that there's opportunities that start popping up as you grow that business, even just from potholes. Judd said it over and over again on this call and many others, is get it in there, find where the pain points are for your customer, cracks and potholes. It's the repair side where there's risks for the customer. Solve those pain points for them. The aspirin, right? Be the solver for that side of it. And then the other opportunities that are more vitamin based or longevity based, which is seal coating and line striping, will fall into place, because then they suddenly go, man, I love Hank. He kicked the crap out of those potholes for me and they look amazing. Boom. Hey, Hank, can you handle whatever else it is? It's going to drop in your lap because of that activity. So I would say focus on what you're learning right now, put the activity into play, and those opportunities will start falling in place for you.
Okay. So yes, you read my day totally. So that's when I said structure, what I'm getting out of the pothole army. And Chris, I'm a Marine also. So Semper Fi Devil Dog, happy Veterans Day.
Awesome.
So
thank you.
I am loving pothole army because I can totally immerse myself into it, take all that energy, put into my daily line. The daily line from yesterday till this morning, world of difference, and I see like all of these things that I had bottled up inside of me, all of these different affirmations and, positive axioms, I can actually write them down and let them start flowing out of me and flowing in my life, so yeah, you read my fortune totally right there.
It's so interesting. When I started doing my daily 9, I started getting challenged, because day 1, day 2, I had lots of stuff to be thankful for, lots of stuff that I could see today would be better. And then my affirmations, it starts getting challenging when you're like, I don't want to regurgitate, I don't want to reuse. So you start being, oh man, what am I really thankful for today? I'm still thankful for the other 5,500 things that I already thanked for, but I need to find a new thing to be thankful for. So you'll come across that too, and I'm sure you'll probably just use ChatGPT. What can I be thankful for today? Give me a list. I need a list. That's awesome.
Undoubtedly, I'm looking forward to it.
Sweet. Thanks for sharing, brother. Okay, Dell, let's go, my friend.
Just trying to get the probably one thing that I'm struggling with the most is trying to do it the right way, not just the quick way. I know having a website's better than not having any website, but mine looks like a 3-year-old did it in art class. Versus, and then not falling in for, because the minute you start looking up that stuff, you get like 900 Facebook ads of, hey, we'll build your website for $86 a month, and just trying to do things the right way. But then like I said, I struggle with that question. Is it better to have it? It's better to have it than not have it.
We all start the race in a different space and a different starting point. Like, I don't have $1 million to throw at the business. I might have $500 or $5,000 or $50,000. It really depends on where you're starting, because you can start a lot of things at one time if you have the capital or the time or the knowledge, if you can do it yourself, all of these things, correct? But if you're starting from a space and saying, okay, am I looking for focus on a specific task? Yes, perfect. You're getting all that stuff from Judd at the Puddle Army. If I have the ability to do a website, social media, my own branding, improved graphic design, if I could get a buddy that's got graphic design in his background, maybe he can make it for me, whatever. I'm just saying, whatever that looks like, it's going to be different for you than it is for anyone else. But if you have the opportunity, yes, make sure that you're making those changes, because all of the things you're talking about right there, definitely positive to your business, even when you're just starting. It'll be better than not having one. Matt, do you have any filler on that, or Skylar?
Yeah, I would say get it going, right? Like something is better than nothing always. Your first aim of focus should be your immediate, right? What do your business cards look like? What does the polo look like that you're wearing? And what does the truck look like that you show up in? Other than that, you don't got a brand yet. No one really cares. Like it's the truth of it when you're getting going. They just want to see a guy that looks clean cut and looks professional and a decent looking rig when he shows up. That's what they want to see in the beginning. No one's really searching your brand yet.
It's authenticity
Eventually,
then, right? Authenticity.
yeah, eventually you'll get there. But then it's like the next thing they're going to want is a nice branded proposal, right? So then it's a very simple CRM. And like really, you should easily be able to generate $500,000+ off of just that alone. Forget the rest of everything else, right? Everything else is literally so secondary. It's all about the lead indicators, right? Like what you should be worried about is how many phone calls did you make or how many doors did you knock today? Like that's the truth of what the true importance is.
Some people get caught up in the little details that they think they should be doing. Oh, I'm just going to go design this and go work on that. And they're not spending the time they should be on the fire that they feel in their business, on the activity they need to be doing, which is connecting with customers. Get out there, use the flames, be excited. Even if it's not perfect, it doesn't matter. Like Skylar said, just be authentic, talk about your business, understand what your business is, and then deliver that in a 30-second elevator pitch.
And pick up your phone. Like people literally just want you to respond, show up, and act it professionally and in a timely manner. Like we have a project currently in Philadelphia that I called 10 contractors for. 10 contractors to finally get one to be able to quote me. Like if you just pick up the phone, you're winning in the beginning.
Sweet. Hopefully that answers your question, Del.
It did perfectly.
Appreciate you, man. Matt, did you have anything to add to that, brother? Mr.
I
Phillips?
was gonna say the same thing that Skylar said about just picking up the phone. The technology we have today, everybody, if you have an iPhone, more than likely, if it's a year old or newer, you already have the capability of having 2 lines on it, or getting Grasshopper, or getting a Google Voice number or something. But yeah, just pick up that phone, brand your stuff. Pick something that stands out. I don't know if they can see on
Oh, yeah.
so that's one of my box trucks. One of my first investments that I did, besides buying an AK system, over 10 years ago, was I bought that U-Haul truck, and I paid like $1,800 for that U-Haul truck, spent about $2,200 on the wrap, and that thing has paid for itself 100 times fold. So that U-Haul truck is when I park anywhere, when we park at a job to do, I always have my guys park it out front, so it's seen, and we get calls. Hey, I see you're doing that parking lot. Can you give me a bid on my parking lot? So just brand yourself, pick up the phone, answer the phone, call back if you can't. It'd be nice to be able to say I pick up the phone 100% of the time, but I sure do call back, because I have on my phone my 2 phone numbers, and I could see the number, that it's coming from my seal coating company. So I make that call back. Just do that, and whether you're pothole hunting or whether you're line striping or seal coating or paving, that is key to your business. So anyway, that's my 2 cents.
Fantastic. That's awesome.
I mean, and
Yes.
like just to put it into perspective, right? Like we didn't get into the weeds of that stuff until like we generated $1 million+ until we started getting into the weeds of like the perfect website and the perfect logo. Like we had very basic trucks with basic logos, and like, nothing was that fancy in the beginning. Like we made like $1 million just hammering it that way. Like from there, then it's, okay, now you have the luxury per se to, spend a little time in the weeds for the minuscule stuff. But like, if you just do the
Refining.
basic principles, like I'm saying, like, yeah, the sky is wide open saying dump your money in my wallet.
Absolutely. Awesome. All right. Who else has a question that pops up to them regularly that we can work on? Jimmy, Jamel, Gabe, Valerie. No questions? Matthew, you got another one? Good for now. Super. All right. So, oh, Sean, go for it, my friend.
Hi, everybody.
Hi,
A quick
Sean.
question I want to ask about the payment methods that you guys are using for your customers.
So, what payment methods, like what form of payment you're taking?
Yes,
Okay. Matt, what do you got, brother?
I always tell my clients I take cash, gold, firearms, ammunition. Yeah, it's kind of a running joke that I have with my customers. Like they're like, "Wait, how can I pay you?" And I mean, cash is king, right? So the more cash I can get, it's better. But reporting it, just making sure you have your system, your CRM or whatever your accounting tool set up, so you can then immediately. So for me, from my phone, I can 2 clicks and then I send them a paid invoice that says, "Hey, your invoice has been paid," because I want them to have that. So 2 or 3 years down the road, they're like, who was it that did this? If they don't remember off the top, but they'll say, oh, but I do remember I got an invoice. So they'll search their email and call up and say, hey, can you come do my driveway again? And there's no negotiation at that point. They're just calling to say, hey, can I write you another check for $2,500? So just be on top of that. But your systems, whatever your system is, you can take credit cards, but then you lose money on credit card transaction fees. Me,
Usually 2.5%.
Yep, I take checks, I take cash.
Wire transfers.
Yeah, wire transfers, ACH. So it just depends. I mean, talk to your bank. Make sure when you get your business set up, that you do get a business line of credit at your bank and set up to receive payments through them. That way, if there is some potential fraud, and it could happen, you've got that bank to help you with that process. But yeah, that's mine. So cash is king.
Okay, what do you think about what is that swipe thing? I just got off of another business meeting. What is it showing?
Like a point of sale system, a POS system?
It's probably like a Square. That's like one of the most.
Square, yes, the
Yeah.
Square.
Yep.
What do you got? Does any of you use the Square?
Yeah, it's a very
Again, I know
universal.
that's a lot of fees there.
Yeah, but you can pass it on to the customer, and most of the time, like everybody's conditioned 3% credit card fee already. Hey, charge it, run it.
So you just add it to their total, the 3% or whatever it is?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, guys.
It's a good question, though, because a lot of people starting out wouldn't necessarily know how to take payment for things. So it's a great question. And I know there's lots of methods out there. People are selling everything from Wave to, all these different things, Wise and all these different payment methods. So it's a great question. And I agree with Matt there. Cash is typically king. If you got cash in your hands, it's good to go. Just deposit and away you go, right? But there are different ways, obviously. Check is another one, which is odd. That's kind of an old school one. That kind of ages you a bit.
I'm in a small town USA, and they still like checks. And for the most part, anybody that's over 35, 40, maybe 45 knows how to write out checks. Those under that age may not. But yeah, that dates me a little bit. But I was going to re-emphasize on being cash is king. Make sure you do record and track your businesses, your jobs, and your payments, because in the future, potentially you could sell your business, and you need to have track of history of your revenue and all your income and everything, so you can value your business. And I know that is a very important, personally speaking. But yeah, you just want to make sure you have that track. Nobody likes to pay taxes to the government, but when it comes to an evaluation on your business in the future, having that set up and in place to where you can really value that asset, it's worth it.
So for anybody that's on AK Dash, you'll know that you can bill through the application as well. Whether you are tying in, let's say, QuickBooks as an API, you can bill through QuickBooks, obviously, and then run the API through into AK Dash. Or if you're just doing straight out of the app itself, you'll find that the nice thing is it ties it to the job specifically, and it creates the receipt so you can send that to your customer. It automatically sends to your customer showing what it was for, which then for your books makes it much easier. If you have a bookkeeper, it just shows very easily for tax purposes. So I know everybody that went on the puddle hunting army there are getting AK Dash for that 8-week session as well. So you'll be able to see where everything's tracked in there as well, which is really nice because it just keeps it so tight and you don't have to be like grabbing it from multiple locations. It's all in one place there. Awesome. Great question though. Anybody else have one that's on here that I don't see in the background that maybe not have their camera on? Anybody else? Sean Taylor, I know you're on here, and that was the other Sean Taylor. But do you have any questions? Anyone else? Kingsley, I know you always like putting yours in last, but if you have a question, throw her in here.
Yeah, so thank you for calling out my name. I actually have a question for me. Hi guys, how you doing? Yes, I know Matt is here. I was thinking of calling Matt tomorrow, but since I had the opportunity to ask the question here. So yeah, I couldn't join the porthole army due to some financial constraint. I wish I was able to join, but it's okay. Good question, yeah. So
Kingsley's phone.
hello, can you hear me?
Oh, there we go. You're back. Thanks, brother.
Thank you. Okay, let me just go straight to the point. How do I estimate for pothole? So when I see a pothole, I do like out of the bag measure it, the deepness, just to do a quick estimate right on the spot with the customer. I'm trying to see how I can, explore and get back to what I find with you guys.
Awesome. Good question. Matt, how do you do your pothole quoting? What is your process?
So you'll just have to learn over time, what type of pothole, what you're going to be doing your material. If you're going to be using a cold patch or a hot patch, or if you're going to be cutting out and replacing, if you're going to be infrareding. So there's a whole bunch of variables. So the one variable that's constant is your time and the value of time. So when I look at a pothole that's maybe 10 inches by 12 inches, and it could be 3 inches deep or it could be 6 inches deep, I know that I could scoop in a bag of cold patch there and tamp that down in about 18 minutes or something. So my time traveling there, so I figure an hour. So I go off of every pothole is $150 a pothole is my to show
more.
up or more.
The big ones.
Yes. Yeah. So it's $150. Now I'm in a small market. We're under about 55,000 people. I can drive from one end of my town to the other end of town in about 8 minutes. So, people that are in major metros or something like that, where it might take you an hour to drive to a place, you just have to, your calculation is going to be different. So just depending on the process, but your time is always consistent. So, 150 minimum. If I'm mobilizing my infrared truck out, I have a $500 minimum for that same hole if they want it infrareded. But then I also have a minimum of 3 holes or more. So so you just have to figure it out what works best for you. And if you're just starting out and you're doing cold patch repairs, find out what your local market is with a bag of.
Your mic went weird, Matt. I'm not sure what happened there. It kind of buzzed out. It might have been your headset that cut out. I don't know. We don't hear you now. Anybody else hearing him? No. Kind of
No,
weird.
okay. Well, I think we lost him.
So my question, and I was going to ask this of Matt, if I can't get back to you, I mean, I can still see and everything, but and I can see your mouth moving, but I can't hear you. But one of the things I was wondering was, do you have a standard set price for saying things like catch basins and aprons and all this kind of stuff, or do you just basically it's like, this is my time, this is how big the job is, calculate my costs for my materials, and so on. Your headset died on you, brother. I don't know what it is. The mic
I would,
must have gone.
Matthias, for me, I think majority of it is all minimum stuff anyway. Like
Yeah.
90% of everything you described, like if I would do time and material, it wouldn't even be worth my time. You know, so like to Matt's point where, you know, he's like, oh, $150, but then he has a three pothole minimum. So $450, whether it's one pothole or three potholes, right?
Right.
So, and that's the reality of, you know, majority of those things, because again, the overhead costs, fixed costs, yeah, you can have low fixed costs, but you still need to cover those overhead costs. But yeah, like majority of those things, Matt, I think you would agree are minimum things per se. Like, yeah, we're not going to do an apron for $450, but you know, say it's only 2 ton of asphalt. I'm not doing an apron for, you know, $450 because it's only $160 worth of material. It's probably more like 1,500 to $3,000.
Right.
And yeah, like they're all just basically minimum set charges per se in those descriptions of catch basins, potholes, and aprons.
You back, Matt?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Plus, it's one of those unfortunates that you have to have the experience and learn by experience to be able to know. So like, you know, most asphalt guys will pull up on whether it's a hole or a sinkhole or a catch basin that's sunk, and they're like, you know, no amount of asphalt's going to raise that up. We're going to have to cut that out and put a collar under that catch basin and raise it up or something, because there's more failure to it. But if you pull up and there's just a pothole in the driveway approach or something, you know, go talk to the store manager or the gas station attendant, say, hey, for $150 I can get that, so it's a smooth ride coming in, and leave them your card for when they're looking for additional work. So I think in a couple of times we've talked about, even, you know, sometimes I even do that for free. Like if I have my infrared truck and I have hot mix in my truck, after we're done our job, I'll send my guys out. I'll say, hey, go by that gas station, fill that pothole, and then just, you know, fill it and drive away. But then text me a picture, and I text it to the owner because I know him, and I just say, hey, we just filled your pothole, you know, Merry Christmas or whatever you want to say. But you're just building that relationship of that owner saying, hey, I need seal coating, or I need striping done, or, you know, so you're just building your business for the future. So pothole, you know, that's I didn't attend the pothole training,
Yeah.
but pothole leads into seal coat, which leads into asphalt replacement, which leads into and leads into and leads into. So that's why Judd is emphasizing that, because the opportunity that you get to help grow your business will compound. So
Plus, obviously, you can do this later in the year too, because you can do it in cooler climates where you can't do this necessarily seal coating in the cold stuff too. But yeah, no, that's awesome. Good points though. Hopefully that helps.
Hey, thanks, man. That was a lot of information. I appreciate it.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Good deal. We're coming to the top of the hour here. I think we got a time for at least another question or two. Anybody else have anything to share or question about anything? We got some good people on here that are willing to share. So yes, sir. Go for it, Hank.
Okay, this is a question that, like, it keep popping up in my mind for the last couple of weeks. How do you stop the asphalt from like crumbling under 3-point turns? Does it make any sense? Yeah, I've seen
Are you
lots
saying on a
where
fresh pave?
is that the cause of it? It being fresh paved?
Well, I mean, in the middle of the summer when it's super hot and you're doing a 3-point turn on fresh blacktop, yeah, you're always going to get that. I mean, extended time. Like we paved our parking lot, our personal parking lot, our sharp parking lot last year. And in the middle of July this year, we were turning and we're still getting those marks because the blacktop will just get that hot again.
Okay. All right, I appreciate it. It makes sense.
Hey, and Hank, I'm just going to throw this out too. So now that you've heard that, if somebody asks you, just say, "Hey, blacktop gets hot. We in the summer months, even after seal coating, you'll get if you do seal coating, it'll track some, and it'll eventually wear off. You just know the theory of blacktop. It's coming out of the hot plants at about 350, 325, 350 degrees. And if you're in an area that's, hitting triple digits, it doesn't take much for that blacktop to reach 150, 170, which is starting to loosen those binders. It's not going to soften it, but it will loosen. So now if you have a customer saying, how come this is tearing up like this? And just say, it's just the nature of the beast. And it just is, that's what
If
blacktop does.
Okay.
and there's also a fine line between a 3-point turn and small little spots like less than 6 to 10 inches versus severe raveling in a parking lot where there's just no compaction and all the fines are falling out prematurely because the mat isn't tight enough. Like
Okay.
there is a very fine line between those two. And, Matt can attest to that, I'm sure, of like, yeah, it's very normal for someone to dead turn their wheel as long as the car's not in motion and for it to make some marks. But if there is like significant amount of like that raveling you're saying, or that asphalt falling apart, it could be an insufficient amount of compaction.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Awesome, Gabe. Go for it, brother.
Hey, how long does the asphalt, when you get it from the plant, how long does it stay hot enough to work it?
Good question.
Depends how good you are. And it depends what plant's giving it to you. No, seriously, like there is some days I'm sure anybody that's laid some blacktop, there is some days that it feels like it's 20 minutes later and you're going, what the hell? This stuff is getting cold already. And there is some days where it's like, you're working with it and what we call is it's just buttering in there and you're just like endlessly all day long of like, man, how is this mix still 400 degrees? It's been 4 hours, again, there's so many variables of like, what are you hauling it in? If you're hauling it in a dump truck, do you have a dump truck with a tarp or without a tarp? The tarp is going to keep it hot significantly longer. Are you hauling it in a hot box? Is that hot box heated or is it just an insulated box? There's so many, requirements there.
Well, I'm going to get it in a dump trailer. I don't think it'll have a top on it. And I have to haul it probably 30 minutes to the job. I have 2 jobs to do, so.
Yeah, so my advice is you're going to want to buy enough. You're probably going to want, I don't know what size those jobs are, but you're probably going to want to buy like 1 ton for the first job. Take whatever's left back. Go ahead.
3 tons. 3 tons.
Yep. So 3 ton for the first job. If it's 3 tons taking it in the hole, I would probably buy 4. And again, this is where in the grand scheme of things, that $80 for the extra ton should be irrelevant and you should be able to discard it in the lieu of the asphalt staying hot enough in the center to have 3 workable tons. You're going to take that other ton back to the plant, dump it at the plant, and then go to the next job. For an open haul, like a dump trailer or an open haul dump truck, about 30 to 35 minutes. I mean, especially in temperatures now, right? Like in the middle of the summer, I'm saying 40 minutes, 45 max haul time, like uncovered in a hot box. But Yeah,
And,
I would do
Gabe,
it in 2 trips.
and Gabe, go get yourself a roll of used carpet and throw on top of that before your tarp. That carpet will keep that heat in, and then your shell, that top layer, what Skylar's referring to, is going to be basically your scrap. I mean, it's going to shell over, but the heat will retain inside that trailer. You know, I'm assuming it's probably a tilt trailer with steel sidewalls. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, get you a piece of old carpet or something and throw down on top of that, then put your tarp on it. That carpet will do wonders, and it's not going to burn it or anything. It's going to turn it black. You'll get oils absorbed from that. But yeah, that is a good way to keep your asphalt mix hot.
It's like not blowing on your soup and blowing on your soup. You drive 30 minutes, it'll be blowing on your soup the whole time.
Yeah, and like if you can, I mean, a 3-ton hole, what'll save you a ton is if you're gonna be able to dump straight from the dump trailer into that hole and rake. Like if you got to shovel it and maneuver it in, it's gonna be rough in colder temperatures. Like like I've been there, you know what I mean? I've done a 1-ton apron and it felt like it was like endless in the beginning, right? Of like, I don't understand how people even do this. But like once you start, you know, just a couple of those trips, and like if you can dump in large quantities, it's so much better. You know, again, keep everything solvent up, right? Keep everything lubricated, keep all the tools hot, and quantity is your friend. You know, you want to keep it in big piles, because if you start like shoveling wheelbarrows out, like it'll start getting hard, and then you're trying to torch seams in, and it just gets rough in the colder temps.
That answered it for you, Gabe?
Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Fantastic. Awesome. Well, we are past our time. Does anybody have at least any like one more question, or are we good for now? We're good. Well, I want to thank every one of you guys for showing up. Coaches, thank you. Jamal, Valerie, Dell, Gabe, Jimmy, Hank, and everybody else on the call here that I don't see. But I can't wait to see you guys next Wednesday, same time, same place. Have yourself a productive, successful week. Thank you all.
Be safe. Be safe.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much, everyone.
Peace,
Bye,
peace.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.